Hello everybody, I am the Black Sigma, or you could just call me Eric, and welcome back to another Zelda month video. In this one, I am, of course, speedrunning Breath of the Wild. Only problem with that, I'm not a speedrunner. In fact, I have never speedran any game properly. I did try with Grim Eclipse, weirdly enough, but no, never actually submitted a run, so it doesn't count. That being said, I do know how some of the tricks in this run work, but whether I'm successful at them or not, well, you'll see. Starting the run, I climb up into this corner. The idea is, if I run into the corner while looking the opposite way, if I get where I'm looking right and where I am running right, Link will slightly clip into the wall, causing the screen to shake a bit. Now, if you get a specific screen shake, and use the scope on the Sheikah slate, the animation of Link turning around and holding it in front of him will push him through the wall. I feel this is one of the easier tricks in the run, because even though I don't know the specific angles and timing, I can get it by sheer dumb luck sometimes. This took me a couple of minutes. After landing out of bounds, we run to this part of the wall and whistle sprint to conserve stamina while running up it. While sprinting, holding the button to whistle and repeatedly tapping B will cause you to start running, but not actually run. This allows you to move at around 3/4 of your running speed without using stamina, but does require an awkward grip on your controller. Next, we can clip back in bounds by crouching in this divot and standing up towards its left side. Running toward the Temple of Time, we steal a pot lid and a spear from these bokoblins, and continue on to the temple. You're meant to clip inside a wall here, but I figured it was too much effort for too little time save for someone of my lack of skill. Once inside, grab this bow and break this pot for some arrows. Here, I would set up a trick called Bow Lift Smuggling Slide, BLSS for short, or nicknamed Wiggle Bomb due to its movement and usage of bombs later. If you hold your pot lid out, try to draw your bow, then immediately try to pick up a small object like this pot. Link will hold his bow in the ready position and then pick up the object, allowing him to hold both at once. Now you have to jump, and while in the air, press B to drop the pot and then pause the game. If done correctly, Link will still be holding the pot in one hand and not yet have actually dropped it. I'm fairly certain this part of the trick is frame perfect, or at the very least it's only a few frames of the window. So, I find it easiest to hit B and pause at the same time, rather than one after the other, and see if the game registered the B input before the pause or not, by looking in the background of the pause menu. Once in this state, remove your pot lid and draw your bow as soon as you unpause. This can be buffered by pressing the button to use your bow before you actually unpause. But when you do it, if Link draws his bow normally, but still has the pot attached to his right hand, you can press B to cancel using your bow, and Link should have the arrow and pot in his right hand, and the bow in his left. This means you've set up the trick correctly. Now, if you run at a small ledge that would cause Link's stepping upward animation, as long as you continue to hold B and don't let the stick return to a true neutral position, you will start sliding through the air, unless you hit a wall. You can control the mid-air movement by facing Link away from the direction you want to go, facing the camera in the direction you do want to go, wiggling the stick from left to right to build acceleration, and then redirect the stick forward to send Link in that direction. Doing this trick well allows you to fly across the map at incredible speeds, but doing it in a mediocre way will get the job done at a casual pace that's still much faster than walking. Now, once you reach your destination, you can let go of B or neutral the stick to let Link drop, pull out a weapon, try to throw it and... If you do it properly, you can start the animation of throwing a weapon and unequipping said weapon before the throw is complete will stop you from taking fall damage because the game thinks that you only fell from the height you were at when you did the trick. You can also do this with equipping/unequipping a shield, but I'm not very good at that. Now, at the bomb shrine, we need to get inside despite it being inactive. So we jump at this wall and start a shield surf on it. If Link shield surfs on an angled wall and you immediately cancel it, the angle Link was at is saved for the next time you shield jump. This is called skew. If you start a shield jump and Link is at that weird angle, then unequip your shield, Link will instantly pop back up into an upright position from the angle he was at, which can cause him to clip into walls, like this part of this shrine, if my skew is good and my positioning is good, which it wasn't for a long time. By the time I finally got into the walls of the shrine, the top 210 runs of this game have already finished, on a leaderboard of 463. Then came getting into the shrine itself. There's a very tight spatial window here, where you have to jump at this portion of the wall, but if you're too far forward, you'll hit the bottom of the floor, or too far back and you won't reach it. When hitting the bottom of the floor, it's very easy to accidentally land your shield surf, which causes skew to be lost, along with your hope of being successful. The timing is also fairly tight, because you hit the outside of the inside of the shrine's wall fairly early in your shield jump, and that'll stop you in your tracks. While I would begin to get the exterior clip more often, the amount of times I failed this interior clip set me back a full hour. Once inside, I never learnt to wind bomb, so I did the shrine fairly normally other than skipping this puzzle. After the old man greeted me, I decided to deviate from the proper route entirely. I could not afford to fail clipping into the other shrines. So I went to the tower and activated it, causing some interesting problems with the old man. See, after doing your first shrine, he waits for you on the top of the tower. But the tower isn't raised yet, so he just falls from up there. Once the tower is raised, he seems normal, for now. I tried to wiggle bomb to the Magnesis shrine, but took a while to realize the reason why it wasn't working is that there's an invisible wall the first time you raise the tower. So I went down somewhat normally and found this cutscene is completely broken. Now, right here, 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 22 seconds into the run. This is when the 453rd run on the leaderboard is finished. This was a blindfolded run by Bubsia. When I am 10th worst on the leaderboard, behind a blindfolded runner, and haven't even gotten my second shrine yet, something tells me I'm not doing too well. But Magnesis goes smoothly. Then getting to stasis took a while, especially because I took a toilet break without pausing the timer. I also didn't think about wiggle bombing from the top of the tower, which would have been a good idea. Getting to Cryonis also took ages, because I went the completely wrong way. Getting back to the Temple of Time wasn't done the correct way, but still a pretty fast way by my standards. With the paraglider in hand, it was time to go to Hyrule Castle. Except for the part where I detoured to Satori Mountain to get hearty foods to try and live longer while inside the castle. While at the castle, I had literally no idea what I was doing, as I'd forgotten the route entirely. All I knew was I'd need some weapons, and to get to the cooking pot to make hearty and mighty foods. In regards to the mighty foods, I decided to use Amiibo. There's no rules against it, and it is purely up to runner discretion. Once I went through some mediocre RNG and made my foods, I got up to the throne room for the Blight fights, and there go my extra hearts. After trying to freehand it a couple of times, I looked up how to do the Wind Blight skip, learning it was way more precise than I thought to get it perfect. But it is a little lenient in ways that can drop his health to 1 or 2 hits off of death, which is good enough for me. Water Blight I didn't learn the strat for, if there is one, and fought it normally. Fire Blight I had a rough idea of the strat, but I never perfected it. And then finally we have Thunder Blight. Thunder Blight! The hardest boss in the game, honestly. Though there is a strategy to basically stun block it forever, I didn't know that strat fluently. All I knew was it involved breaking his shield, shoot him out of the air, rinse and repeat. And a boomerang was a good way to one-shot his shield while in the air. But with him kicking my butt, and it being midnight, and me having work in the morning, I decided to pause the timer and do it the next day. I improved at my Thunderblight strat, but I never perfected it, missing some bad shots to miss, and instantly facing retribution. After 5 hours and 9 minutes, which would put me in 460th, I made a decision I'm not proud of. But it was my only option. I don't know if I can do this like this. Honestly, I've done a quote-unquote straight to Ganon run before, but it wasn't this. I did a lot of over-prep. I got a ton of fairies, etc. I didn't try the speedrun route. And as we can see, my track record with trying the speedrun route is dying relentlessly. Just throwing myself at a problem until I finally solve it. And I am certain that I can do this. That if I throw myself at this enough times, I will eventually beat Thunderblight damageless. And then on to Calamity Ganon, and I'd instantly fail it. But then I'd throw myself at that over and over again, and eventually succeed. I have the persistence and ability to get through this shit. What I don't have is the time. I am recording this second part of this video on the 17th of November. This video, by my schedule for Zelda month, is due on the 19th. Yeah, that gives me a full day. I could beat the game. But beat the game and edit it down into a watchable piece of content? I don't think so. I can do this. But it's not happening in this video. In fact, it may never happen in a video, because what's the point of me trying this shit again if I know it's gonna take this long? The run's dead. Well and truly. And unlike every other channel in existence that will say, "Can I do so-and-so challenge?" I'm actually going to upload a video of a failure. Because, well, it's a break from the formula, isn't it? Oh, it looks like I'm going to lose the run, but then I found a way to succeed. Not this time. Not this time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.